Committee. They are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Burgess, for organizing this special order event. Mr. Speaker, the United States represents only 5% of the global population, yet we consume over 80% of the opioids produced around the world. Shouldn't that have raised a red flag? Since 2011, our office has conducted over 50 roundtable meetings with doctors, pharmacists, nurses, and law enforcement, listening and learning from professionals how we could best address this problem. Congress has acted. As you heard a minute ago, the 21st century cures and care were good first steps, but it's evident that more work needs to be done. Last month, under President Trump and the Republican Congress leadership, we secured an additional $4 billion in funding, the largest investment ever in this crisis. We've made progress in other areas. In the book American Pain by John Temple, he cites an ever-increasing production quotas as a contributing factor to this drug opioid abuse. Even as it became clear that the opioid abuse was a growing problem, our producers, pharmaceuticals, were producing more and more pain medicine. Fortunately, yesterday, the DEA, under the leadership of President Trump, announced that they would finally begin limiting the number of pills being produced. I also had the honor of working with the White House on the opioid task force. And thanks to Chairman Walton, the Energy Commerce Committee has made fighting the opioid crisis a top priority. You heard his comments when he said that. Our committee has been crafting another comprehensive opioid package aimed at treatment, prevention, education, and enforcement. Over the past few weeks, the committee has reviewed numerous bills, and I'm proud to say, and thank you for Chairman Burgess, that two of those bills are pieces that our office has crafted. Now, as for the role of pharmacies, currently each state maintains its own database on prescriptions, but that information isn't always typically shared with neighboring states. So the committee is taking under consideration a nationwide prescription drug monitoring program, which would prevent people from abusing the system by filling their prescription in multiple states. And Congress needs to shut down these illicit, illegal pharmaceutical drug sales on social media. Just as the commissioner of the FDA made a strong recommendation just 2 weeks ago. And lastly, it's time to tighten our border security to stop the flow of drugs into our country. Hancock County, West Virginia Sheriff Ralph Fletcher has made it clear that the spike in heroin overdoses is directly attributable to this poison pouring across our southern border from Mexico. And as Mike Burgess just noted a minute ago, the Postal Service system needs to be enhancing their monitoring program to halt this importation of fentanyl from China. But through all this, shouldn't we be exploring the root cause of why people are turning to dangerous drugs? West Virginia, unfortunately, leads the nation in virtually every statistic when it comes to opioids. Some have attributed it to our state's high unemployment, low household income, and low education levels. But who is second? And last year, New Hampshire was second. They have the highest level of employment. They have one of the highest levels of household income and one of the highest levels of degree of household education. So clearly, it's simply not a socioeconomic issue. Something else is driving this epidemic, and we need to get to the root cause of it. There's plenty of blame to go around, and we need to hold people accountable. Our committee has been accomplishing this through an investigation into pill dumping that has occurred in West Virginia. On May 8th, as you heard a minute ago, we're going to be holding another hearing with our CEOs of the nation's largest drug distributors have been shipping tens of millions of pills into small communities across West Virginia. What we hope to learn is why. Why would you dump millions of pills into small rural communities? Have you no shame? Look, this is a multifaceted problem. While there's still a lot more work to be done, Congress has been taking a number of steps to eradicate this scourge of the opioid epidemic. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.